This? How can he raise me here? This doesn't make much sense. What do you... 7-5? 7-5?
Hello, males between the age of 25 and 34. Today we're going to start looking at some GTO analysis of the heads-up match going on between Daniel Negreanu and Douglas Polk right now. Currently, Doug is up about $500,000 in the challenge, and I've heard that Daniel Negreanu has made an effort to implement some GTO plays into his strategy book. So we'll see by looking at some of the hands whether we can form an opinion on how both players are doing in this respect. Now Daniel has released a video on some of the hands that have gone to showdown in the challenge, so we'll take a look at his analysis first before diving in ourselves.
Hands that went to showdown. Alrighty, here we got A6, that's nice. Jack 7 flop. Okay. Now we got an ace, that's good. Good turn card, hello. Check, that's good. All right, so now we're going to value bet 75% pot. Why the hell not? And hope he calls me with some goofy king high hand. He raises me. What the fuck is this? How can he raise me here? This doesn't make much sense. What do you... 7-5? 7-5? I'm not sure that one makes a lot of sense, but okay. All right.
All right, now... Obviously, Daniel is not being completely serious there, just having a bit of a vent, it seems, but let's have a look at the sim. Here's the settings for the GTO plus sim that we ran for the hand, if anyone's interested on this Jack 7 suited board. So Daniel out of position here in the single raise pot, checks his range, and Doug should be following through with basically a range c-bet here for, about a third pot I have for the sizing here. Though if he was to find a hand to check, kind of a weak 7-5 could be an all right candidate for that, but he goes ahead and bets. Now, paired boards like this in single raise pots and no limit hold'em are some of the most aggressively check raised boards that you'll see. So it is a bit concerning that we don't see Daniel kind of takes time to consider raising here, but you can't fault him that much as he does have a 6 offsuit, which is a hand that has like decent showdown value, and only one overcard to the 7 here, and he didn't have a heart, so no backdoor equity, so pretty easy hand to just find a check call with. Turn comes the ace of clubs, and we check once again. Now here on the turn, Doug should be mainly favoring the larger bets, though you could find some splits here, it seems, with his range if he was to do something quite advanced. But his 7-5s, most of his 7x here, just wants to be checking. You could find some small block bets with some of it if he really wanted to, but 7-5, easy check back. And turn comes, what was it, 5 diamonds or something. Any 5 will do here for the analysis. And out of position here, Daniel sits here with his a6. I forget the exact suits, with probably the diamond and club, I believe. And he finds the bet 75% of the pot line here, which the solver likes actually here. That's the line shown in blue for the frequency, with his weak ace-x. In fact, most of his ace-x is just kind of betting for value here. Even the 7x, just doing kind of like a small block bet to get some value from, random king highs that Doug might be checking back, that kind of thing. And more of like his 3 of a kind is favoring some tricky check raises and full houses, but most of the top pair has some checks, but a lot of these bet 70% line. So he does find the correct line there. And here I've given the option of a number of different raise sizes for Doug on the river. He does choose kind of this smaller sizing of about 75% the pot, roughly. However, the solver, while it is actually raising here with 7-5, basically repping full houses or trips, I guess, for that sizing, It's doing so at a bit of a low frequency, and when it is raising, it actually favors like this giant shove sizing. You know, Daniel betting here 5.5 blinds, and the solver wanting to shove in all 122 blinds on the flop on the river, which is something you'll see on rivers quite often when you can have nutted hands in your range. Here with Doug's full houses, he can carve out this sizing with like his ace jack, ace ace, 7-7, 5-5. And then yeah, the main bluff for this is the 7-5, blocking the chance of Daniel having 7-7 or 5-5 or jack 7, jack 5. So it's kind of like these counterfeited, you know, 3-pair hands are good candidates for this. One thing that is always interesting to me though is, despite this gigantic size that we're seeing on the river, it really doesn't allow for as many bluffs as you might think, even though we're, say, shoving, you know, a decent amount of full houses here, shoving all of our 7-7, all of our 5-5, all of our ace-ace, a decent amount of our ace-jack and jack-7. Still, we should only be, you know, roughly like 25% of the time with this combination ripping it in. So you need to be quite careful in these river scenarios, not to overdo it. But Doug chooses the smaller sizing, and Daniel finds the call with the ace-6 quite easily. And we can see in the GTO solution, he should be thinking about, you know, getting rid of about half of his ace-high here. It's not something that he's forced to defend here all the time, so can think about tightening up just a tad on the river, it seems. All right, that's been a hand. We tried to make this kind of short and sweet, and so we can crank out a few of these.